Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. I'm in our 942 here. We got our mowers hooked up. We unhooked the manure spreader this morning. We had been spreading some manure on a field of our neighbors that didn't get planted this spring because it was too wet. We're spreading some solid manure on that field. I haven't taken any, haven't done any filming of that, but maybe I will here at some point. Yeah, hooked the manure spreader, hooked the mowers up this morning. We're going to a field of one of our neighbors that's about 4.5 miles from the farm. That's actually going to be second cutting off this field here. Cut it. First cutting was about 29 days ago for 4 weeks and a day, and then it's a Saturday afternoon today. Tomorrow morning we'll be cutting a new seeding of our own that's right next to the farm, and the plan is to chop both those fields on Monday, get a good start on a Monday morning. Hope to get it all done Monday. There's a chance of rain Tuesday, so in theory, if all goes to plan, that should work out pretty good, but we'll find out. Just coming up to the field here now. Looks like there are a few grasses out there, but overall the field looks like it's not too bad out where the alfalfa gets a little better out through the center there. Looks like a pretty good stand of alfalfa here. We'll find out once we get into it. So I'm just gonna pull into the approach here, unfold, and then I'll probably do the headlands for sure before I do any filming, so I can pay attention to what I'm doing, and then maybe film a little of the mowing. Sam's gonna come take over here after lunch. I'm gonna get started. He's got one job to do after lunch, and then he's gonna come take over from me. I did bring my drone, so if I have time, I'm gonna fly my drone and show you guys some of this mowing out here. And maybe we'll get some filming of the mowing tomorrow around the farm too. But that alfalfa is not quite as good as this is, because that's yeah, the first cutting we're gonna be getting off that new seeding. So hopefully we do get some rain on Tuesday, it'd be good for both these fields. So we'll pull into the approach here and unfold. Just gonna jump out and look everything over before we get started. Looks like, make sure all the flaps are hanging down. Take a look at this alfalfa quick before we get back in the tractor. A little over knee high here by the approach. Probably gets a little bit better out into the field, but that's not too bad. Looks like this turned out pretty good, because the first time we cut this 4 weeks ago was the first cutting off this field. And at that time it looked pretty similar to how ours looks. Not super thick, a little bit weedy in spots, which ours looks overall not bad, but there's some weeds out there. This looks like a nice field of alfalfa here, so hopefully we can get it cut and chopped and make some good quality feed. I did 3 headland passes. Now I'm going back and forth here, just started kind of down the middle of the field. Just want to make sure the GPS is set up good. The nice thing about these rear mowers, you can extend them out and in. So currently I have them extended out all the way. When you're going straight up and down the field, and you're not turning at all using the GPS, and you can have a wider cutting width. But if you're doing the headlands or going around sloughs or a rock pile, whatever it might be, you can suck those rear mowers in that you're not skipping any when you're turning. That actually works pretty good. You can turn fairly tight. Not sure exactly how much they move in and out, but I think it's looks like it's about a foot or so each mower. Just want to make sure that everything is working here before Sam gets here. It's a little windy out here. So we do have crimpers on this mower. They're rubber roller crimpers, dual drive actually, but they're not set very tight. As you can see, it's not really crimped. Which I'm not sure if it really needs to be. Kind of curious if anybody watching has more experience than I do, but I've read and seen somewhere, I don't remember where, but that alfalfa actually is higher quality if you don't crimp it. Not sure if there's any truth to that, but I'm curious if anybody has tried crimping versus not crimping as far as quality goes and dry down. Not too concerned about dry down since we're chopping it, but if we were making dry hay, maybe we would need to crimp it more. We don't have the crimper set very tight. We set them for the sorghum last year and kind of left them there. I'm also curious what other people are doing as far as cutting intervals. We cut this 29 days ago and there's already some flowers on some of these. So I don't know if we need to cut sooner. Kind of curious what the quality will be of this. The first cutting, I was kind of surprised. That came back 170 relative feed value, which I'm not going to complain about that. That's right in the window where we want to be. So I'm curious what this will come back as. I mean, it's still really fine stems, so I would expect this to be good quality, but we won't know until we test it. I'm also curious, about cut height. I have it set at about 5.5 centimeters, 5.5, 6 centimeters. Some people cut right to the ground, other people cut higher. I think I might cut, when we cut the alfalfa at home, at the farm, I think I might cut that a little taller since it's first time it's going to be cut. I'm curious what other people are cutting at. I mean, we're leaving some, probably a good 2 inches of stubble here at least. Going about 11.5 miles an hour. I think we could probably go faster yet, but don't want to get too carried away either. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job. It's later in the day here. I'm in the field that's close to the farm. Dairy's over there in the background. Decided to get started on this field here. Taryn would like to go to church in the morning, Saturday evening here now, so thought I'd get a head start on this field, start cutting on it. It's probably good that I did. I'm kind of in probably the better spot of the field here. It's not too bad here. It's not quite knee high, you can see on the mower. Not as high as Tyson's field was, but there's probably a third of this field is either short or thin or both, and wasn't doing the nicest job cutting in those spots. So I'd slowed down quite a bit, and I was playing with the RPMs of the mower. Tried faster and slower. Going a little slower seemed to work a little bit better. I think you can, if you're in thin crop and you're spinning those discs too fast, it can blow the crop down before getting to it. So yeah, going slower speed obviously is going to take longer to cut this alfalfa here, but where it is, where it does have a nice stand, it looks pretty good. And we did spray this here probably 3 weeks ago. There are some weeds, especially around some of the lower spots. And when I get back in here, I'll show you guys. There's a few spots that after we get the alfalfa chopped here on Monday, I'm gonna have Tyson come in and reseed, and we're also gonna put in some. I've got a forage mix that's sorghum, BMR sorghum, and Italian ryegrass that we're gonna put in together with the alfalfa. There was a few spots that was seeded in pretty good conditions, but then we had 3 inches of rain and it just got drowned out. It was just too much for that alfalfa, and it either didn't come up at all or it's extremely thin to where we're not gonna get much of a crop there, and I don't think that alfalfa is gonna come back. So we'll seed back through that, so we hopefully you know, that sorghum and Italian ryegrass can help take up some of the moisture to help get that alfalfa started. And next year, hopefully the alfalfa comes back a little better. On the far side of the field there's one spot that's fairly big that's like that. I'll show you guys when we get over there what I'm talking about. That's silage corn over there. That's probably our best looking corn, about 5 feet high or so at this point. That's that corn got seeded first. But even in our cornfields, well, you can kind of see it there, kind of wavy and yellow. Down at the far end there was a spot. Even some of our corn and some of those lower areas got drowned out. And we had that rain here shortly after planting, after seeding. But nothing really we can do about it in the corn, but here in the alfalfa, I'd like to get those areas seeded in again to hopefully try to get a crop established there. But kind of getting into this lower spot here, you can see there's still water in this area. Here where we are, a few more weeds, which is to be expected. If the alfalfa's thin, we're going to have more weeds. This is part of the area that I'd like to have Tyson come in and reseed, especially coming up right here. Where we are now, I mean, it's thin, but I think this alfalfa will come back pretty good if we do get a little rain. But right here, it's just bare dirt, or the little bit of alfalfa's there is not going to amount to much. I don't think we'll damage that too much by coming and seeding through it, because there isn't much to damage. This is kind of one of the bigger areas here, right in the corner of this field. Kind of disappointing because we were able to get it was seeded in a nice seed bed. It was good and dry when it was seeded. Then we got that rain, but it is what it is. Better than not having any rain at all, I guess. Not going to bother having them come through and merging this and chopping this, because there's nothing here to pick up. Even pick up more corn than alfalfa. But I'm still going over with the mower, get that alfalfa cut off, the little bit that's there, to hopefully help start it to regrow. Usually if you cut it, that will help the regrowth process, especially if we do get a little bit of rain here next week. Not several inches, just a quarter inch or a half inch would be perfect, but we'll see what we end up with. Overall, I'm not too dissatisfied with how the alfalfa looks. We debated about doing a companion crop, like oats or something along with the alfalfa, but decided not to. I don't know, maybe we'll, next time maybe we'll try that. Get a little more tons the first cutting and maybe help get that alfalfa established in some of those areas of the field that are more wet, more poor soil. I don't know. I don't know if it would have been any better or not, hard to say. You guys probably not going to be able to see, but down near the trees there, deer just popped out of the trees there and is eating some of our alfalfa. I think I'll probably end this video here and do the merging and chopping in a separate video. Plan is to merge this tomorrow and then start chopping immediately Monday afternoon. The idea was merge it tomorrow, then it doesn't get too dry. But I didn't want to wait to cut it until tomorrow and end up having it be too wet Monday to chop with the rain coming Tuesday. And today it's a high of 70, tomorrow is a high of 71 or something like that. Cloud cover. So I'm not, at this point, not too concerned about it getting too dry. There's a little concerning that this is really thin, but I think I might have them merge this field first actually, and then go to Tyson's after that, just because this field is thinner. Get that alfalfa together so it doesn't dry out so quickly. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's what we're gonna do. It's a new experience for me, so I kind of learn as we go, I guess. But that's all right. Have to try some new things every once in a while. Keep things exciting for myself. But yeah, questions, comments, post them down below. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.